Greetings, salutations, respect, and love, boys and girls, cats and kittens. Today we are talking about a kind of a solemn and not. I guess I should not be so upbeat, right? This is. I probably should have worn black for this episode.
Morbid.
We're talking about artists that have had their date with the Undertaker. And we're not just revivalists. We're gonna be resurrectionalists, right? We're gonna resurrect people from the dead today and pick our 10 favorite artists, or the artists we want to do. I'm putting together a super group. That's what I'm doing with my 10. I've got a 10-person super group that I've actually thought about how they play together.
You have a name for them? The Grateful Dead's taken.
No, I don't have a name for him. So I'll go last. I'll have a name for him at the end. By the end of the show. But that's the premise. Before we get going, R.I.P. Dave Cousins. I put it up in the chat. I don't know if people are seeing it or not, but about 90 minutes ago on Straubs.com. So it is official. Dave Cousins, man. Dave Cousins no longer with us. Not cool. And then a couple of days ago, Kevin, everybody knows how much I love me some Earthrander.
Yeah.
The great genius behind it all, the mastermind, the dude that wrote every single song on For You, the Old Women, their absolute stone cold masterpiece, Alexander Romanelli, no longer with us. He died a few days ago. That's a great loss. So, we've only got 3 of the original members of Earthrander left, and we had all 3 of them on the reissue show, so we know how that goes. But anyway, this is going to be kind of fun and kind of like morbid at the same time.
I mean, we're honoring them, right? Because we're saying these are people that were so great. We want them back. So I think it's a bit of a celebration, to use Straub's terminology there. Celebration, yeah.
There you go.
Right.
Well,
Can
the
I
panel,
say one thing?
Cody, you go first. Tell me what your thoughts are, because it's Cody, everybody, from Brockway's Vinyl Bites. Woo!
Thank you. I want to say one thing to sort of lift some people's spirits up.
Please.
Because obviously there's going to be a lot of sort of, we're talking about dead musicians and stuff, right? There's one guy from the 60s, from the Beatles, who's still, 2 guys, obviously, they're still around. But Paul McCartney is 83 years old, and he has just announced a proper world tour. He's coming to Canada in November, and I'm going to try and go see him again. It's going to be awesome. And so that's the bit of light that we can sort of shine here after, Dave Cousins. My gosh, when Tara finds out about that, she's going to be heartbroken.
Yeah.
I actually have her list as well. Do you want to hear hers first?
I do, but let me introduce the rest of the panel here before we get going. We've got back again Ian Bebout, my fellow Ohioan, and obviously here just to class up the joint. Ian, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me again, Scott.
Yeah, this is
glad
awesome.
to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. And back from his extended hiatus, I guess his timeout is over. He's been dead wrong just one too many times, but he's back. He's paid his debt to society. Wayne, the #1 YouTuber in all of Alberta. Welcome back to the program.
Woohoo! Glad to be back, Scott. Got a nice little tan while I was away, so
glad you're back, man.
Yeah, got to visit the in-laws in Ontario. So,
where?
Mattawa, up around North Bay. I got there just a day before. I guess they got a massive downburst, and
that's far away from here.
Yeah, it's
Ontario's pretty big, so you're safe, Cody. No worries about him knocking on your door if next time he goes to visit the in-laws. But it's good
here.
It's good to have Wayne back. I need to have somebody to say you're dead wrong at least 2 or 3 times on every show. I would never dream of doing that with my next guest. It's Edward, none other than the mighty Prog hat. Back again. It's been a long, long time. Back by popular demand. The kiddies demanded it, and here you are, Prog hat. Good seeing you. Can we hear you? Are you muted?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Okay.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, thank you, Scott, and everybody for being here. I'm looking forward. But
Hey, have you had any flooding your way, Edward?
what's that?
Your part of Texas, has it been impacted by any of the floods?
Oh, no, I haven't. I live about 4 to 5 miles away from that county where they're having that flooding going on, and it's been very tragic what's going on down there. And I know everybody's down there being very responsive. I know the agency that I work for will lend a hand in doing what we can do to help the folks down there as well, because our agencies does a lot of emergency work for the people around Texas.
Yeah, unbelievable. Terrible loss of life, and our thoughts and prayers to all the people impacted by that terrible disaster along the banks of the Guadalupe River, the Camp Mystic. 27 campers and counselors just what it rose like 23 feet in like 15 minutes. It's just
I heard
I
heard it was as much water as goes over Niagara Falls in like 2 weeks happened there in a matter of hours. Like it was just unbelievable.
Yeah,
it was just real quick and really unexpected, even though the area down there has had situations, but nothing like this. So just all I can really say is my prayers and the heart go out to those families down there. And so I'll do whatever I can where I work at to make sure, whatever, because I'm a purchaser. I'll just say that. I won't say what agency I work for.
No, we don't. You don't need to get into details, but God bless you, Edward, for all that you're doing and helping the people that were impacted, Kerr County in particular, but all the surrounding areas, all the tributaries of the Guadalupe. It just unbelievable the amount of damage. So I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you for that. And welcome to the Prog Corner, Edward. Welcome back, man. Yeah. This is going to be a good show. I know, like I said, it's a little bit morbid, but we are we are honoring these people, man. We are honoring these people that we love, and we miss so much that we want them back. And Cody, the floor is yours. Whatever you want to do. Like I said, I'm gonna put me together a super group, but you can do whatever you want.
Well, I'll start off with Tara's
list. Yeah, let's hear what Tara had to say. Let sanity reign first.
She wanted to be on here, but when she woke up, she just didn't sleep well at all last night, and she's got to work tonight. So she's like, I'll just give you my list and just tell them all I said hello. You're going to know this is her list because it starts off with Alex Harvey.
Yeah.
Alex
I think we can guess like 3 or 4 of hers off the rip.
We got Alex Harvey from the Sensational Alex Harvey Band, Nick Turner and Robert Calvert from Hawkwind.
Nice.
John Weisman from Coliseum 1 and 2. Gary Moore, right?
Yeah, I had a feeling.
I picked an Irish guitar player too, but not him. But he's amazing. Obviously, the Thin Lizzy album he did was awesome. All the Coliseum 2 stuff, amazing. David Allen, Keith Moon, the bass player from Cannes, so it's Holger Zuke, Mike Pinder. This is my fiance, everyone. This is my wife. She just is so awesome. Mike Pinder.
Yeah.
I'm
glad somebody grabbed him.
Yeah. She doesn't like any of the Moody Blues stuff without him on it. She goes, no Mike Pinder, no Tara.
Yeah, he was on my short list, my honorable mentions.
David Byron and Ken Hensley, both from Uriah Heep, obviously. And John
Wayne's
Luke
happy.
Yeah. Well, and I said to her, I said, well, if you're going to include those guys, you should include Gary Thane and those guys. And she goes,
and Lee Kerslake.
And then she goes, yeah, then I'm going to have to do Lee Kerslake. And
just do them all. Thank God we still have Mick Box to kick around.
That's my list. So I didn't do anything. I just did it kind of the way she did, where it's like, just think of 10 or so musicians. I cheated a little bit.
I don't know how you can beat her list, Cody. By the way,
I didn't even try. I didn't even try. This is just a group of people who mean so much to me. I start off with, I'm not that much of a blues guy, but this guy's playing absolutely. It just does things to you when you listen to it. Rory Gallagher. I've really been listening to him a lot since she's been around because
I thought that would be on her list, actually.
I thought so too, but I think maybe because I took him, she went Gary Moore, and so it was like we kind of, because we don't have any spillover. Like we chose different stuff from each other. But Rory, no, just
you're becoming one person.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's happening
happening.
in real time. Oh no. What, we've had an anniversary, right? It's been what, like a year now?
It was a year ago yesterday that she landed in Canada. And then so Monday will actually be the 1 year anniversary since we surprised you on the Prog Corner.
Okay. Nice.
July 14th. Yeah, we had to keep it silent for like 3 days. That was hard. But Rory Gallagher, yeah, he's just an absolutely awesome musician. He should have taken the job in Deep Purple when he was offered it. But fantastic. Next up, John Wetton. I mean, amazing. You know, just look at all the stuff he did, you know, for Prog. You got UK, you got King Crimson, you got Asia, and other great stuff. You know, his little stint in Uriah Heep. You know, he's just an all-around fantastic musician. Next up, Freddie Mercury. People will say that Queen is not Prog, and I will say, well, whatever. They made amazing music, so
yeah, whatever they are.
Bite on them apples. Freddie Mercury, no, he's just one of the most iconic frontmen. And even if Queen weren't Prog, they absolutely had an influence on the genre itself. And his creative mind, his artistic vision, you know, it'll never be forgotten. I mean, when you listen to Queen, especially beyond the hits, where most people are kind of familiar with that greatest hits album, but then they go out and they get Queen 2 or something like that, it's like, oh wow, okay, look what's going on here. You know, the side white and side black, Brian May and Freddie Mercury.
The problem with Freddie, though, you bring him back, he might be mad because he's going to say, "Who wants to live forever, man?"
Nice.
Fair enough. That was a good one.
It is the 40th anniversary of Live Aid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think of Freddie Mercury. I think of that exact moment in time where he decided he was going to just inform the world who the biggest rock star really was, and it wasn't David Bowie. It was Freddie. Freddie just dominated the proceedings. Never seen nothing like Freddie at Live Aid, to be honest with you.
And you know, especially with what Bowie was putting out, he was putting out Tonight and all that stuff at the time. Give me a break, man. But David Bowie,
Billie Jean.
He's worth an honorable mention for sure. David Bowie, absolutely fantastic. That Aladdin Sane record is one of the all-time greats. He didn't make my list, but I love him. I think he's awesome, and he's got a new box set coming out with the last period of his career, so that's cool. Next up is a twofer. It's Keith Emerson and Greg Lake, because why would I separate them? They died in the same year, like only 6 or 8 months apart or something like that, within the same year span. Absolutely horrible. And you know, just the way that both of them went was really tragic. I can't even believe it. It's been almost 10 years now, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Keith Emerson, Greg Lake. Imagine ELP getting back together. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, shout out to Cape Coral. Woo, Cape Coral. You see that, Kevin? You don't know nothing about Cape Coral. You're a Tampa guy. You don't know nothing about no Cape Coral. Lee County, brother. 239 in the house. Oh,
awesome.
yeah. Fort Myers, Naples, Estero, Bonita, Lehigh. Oh, I love my brothers in Southwest Florida. I don't. I'm from Ohio, man. I'm never going back to Florida ever. Not gonna happen.
We won't let you in, Scott.
That's right. Yeah, I don't.
We
think
we
I'm
have
allowed
standards
back.
here.
I don't think they'd let me back in Florida, to be honest with you. I think those days are over.
They got a picture right at the border.
We let you back in for a trial run, and you overstayed your welcome at that hotel, so we're not letting you back because you wouldn't check out of the hotel on time.
And Kevin, here we go.
There you go. 5001, Scott.
I told you. I knew it was going to happen.
Yes.
And we're not being disrespectful. It's like, we're paying homage to the greatness that is these artists, and we're paying them tribute. And, I doubt you were subbing from my channel to start with. So
yeah, I
you've
can't imagine
you've
somebody
never once
who's
commented on anything, so I doubt you were.
I can't imagine somebody who spent their life making amazing music that passes would think, I hope everybody forgets about me, never talks about me, doesn't honor me, doesn't pay tribute to me. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a stupid comment. Sorry.
Yeah, that is a stupid comment, and I'm gonna add on to that. The dead are resting. So let me just get this straight. Can we let the dead rest? This is so disrespectful, whatever. So do you just stop listening to their records because you're not letting them rest by listening to their music? Isn't that right?
No, you can listen to the music, just don't talk about them.
Yeah, just don't talk about them. Okay.
Or don't mention they're not with us. Just pretend like you're Norman Bates, right? Mama's not dead. Just crop them up and no, come on, man. Live in the real world, Marissa Wolf. Live in the real world.
I mean, as much as I don't want to compliment her, I do like her profile picture because I love Beavis and Butthead. But if you're gonna
me too, man. And then I'm putting it up again, Marissa. I know we're giving you a hard time. Your opinion is as valid as anybody else's. I don't want to say that just because there are 6 men up here, trying to mansplain to you. That's not what's going on here whatsoever. I'm really being cautious these days, aren't I? I don't know.
We don't need an apology video.
I don't know. The apology video did well, so I don't know. Maybe
we need another one.
There, Just don't be making any wheelchair jokes now, Scott.
Offend a certain segment of the population, get everybody in an uproar talking about me, and then me having to do an apology video the next day.
Well,
I can do that forever.
I'm gonna whiz through the last half of my list here. So number 6, we've got another twofer. It's 2 people that I love very much, and I think about all the time, and I'm sure Paul McCartney feels the same way because it's John Lennon and George Harrison. I really, really, really wish that those guys, because John Lennon didn't have to go, and I mean, I know George. I mean, it's the same for him. Neither of them had to go. George got really sick, likely as a result of an assault. When that guy literally gave him brain damage from breaking into his house and beating him with a bat. That's just what a horrible way. And then obviously we know how John Lennon died. We're not going to get into that, but I just, I think about it and it's like, what if they were still here? Imagine the reunions we would have got over the years. I just, I mean, the fact that him and McCartney were slated to work together in February of 1981, and obviously that didn't work out, just horrible.
Terrible.
Next up, we're going to go with a guy that sort of almost kind of founded the band that's on my shirt here, Cliff Burton. September 1986, he died in a tragic, awful bus accident. I mean, that's got to be one of the worst ways to go. You know what I mean? Like, terrible. But he's one of the best. I mean, if you listen to the mix of the bass on the very first Metallica record, Kill 'Em All, and you listen to what he's playing on the first 3, obviously he's on that one, Ride the Lightning and Master of Puppets, and listen close to what he's doing and the way that he helped them arrange some of those songs. It's absolutely brilliant. He was a fantastic musician.
No, it's just not the same. I mean, not only did you pretty much not be able to even hear the bass afterwards. But those first 3 albums are just incredible. Easily their best, and he's a huge reason why. I love Kill 'Em All, man. I think Kill 'Em All is a lot of fun.
I think it's a great record, and I like the fact that on that album the bass had a really clean sound, so it really cuts through even above the guitars.
He was great. He was
exactly what he's doing.
Cliff was great.
You know what? I love pretty much all their records. I love the Jason Newsted stuff.
Yeah, he's fine. It's not his fault.
And the Robert Trujillo stuff, I mean, they're back to the thrash thing, and and Robert Trujillo's right up there in the mix.
He's
but
amazing.
Cliff Burton left such an indelible stamp on Metallica, and they admit it too, and they still carry that sort of influence with them. Next up is a guy that's not prog at all, so I'm sorry for the people that are expecting everything is going to be full on prog. Is Chris Cornell. He was a truly great talent. I love Soundgarden. I love Audio Slave. And it was a real blow. I always knew who he was. I kind of got more into his music after he passed away. Then I got super unknown. It's like, oh my gosh, wow. So beyond the hits, he's just a brilliant mind. And he would do all these acoustic covers and things like that. He was just, he was a real fan of the art. And he was a really gifted individual.
Yeah, the story goes the A&R guy at the major, listening to all the indie records, all the cool little small label stuff. Of course, you're going to listen to anything on Sub Pop, right? The story goes, he's listening to some early record, and I don't know which one. And he got into the record, and exactly 3 seconds into hearing Chris's voice, he said, "Yeah, sign him."
Yeah,
that's all I need to hear. That guy's voice. That's it. Don't need to know nothing else. Sign him.
Next, no, he's absolutely amazing. The power he had was unreal.
Yeah.
If you listen to that Bad Motorfinger record and you get tunes like Outshined, come on. Next up, Frank Zappa. What kind of list would this be without Frank Zappa?
Hey, we're in 21 minutes into this episode, and it's the first mention of Zappa.
I'll make it fast. I've said everything that I can already say about Frank Zappa. He was a genius. End of story. I love him. Next up, Jerry Garcia, huge fan of the Grateful Dead. He was an absolute visionary in where he wanted to take the Dead. Sometimes he didn't even really know. He just took them places and it worked. They were a great band. Love Jerry. He's a great player. Neil Peart. I'll never forget the day he died. It was just absolutely tragic, and it was all hope out the window for me getting to see Rush, obviously, but losing one of the greatest musicians in the world. That's not easy because it felt like an uncle who taught me how to play drums. You know what I mean?
You never got to see Rush, Cody?
I never got to see Rush.
Oh man, that's terrible, man. I only got to see him once, and I'm so glad I did. I had many opportunities, but I did get to see him once.
I had the opportunity to see them once, but I was kind of in a sort of different musical phase in my life at that point. I was really young.
Happens.
I was like 11 to 12, and then I passed up on it and never got to go see him. So these bands sure have a lot of members. I'm unsubscribing.
Yeah. I was telling the boys and girls, Cody, hate to interrupt you again, but I was telling my panel before we went live that I have had over 5,000 people hit unsubscribe to the Prog Corner in the 3.5 years I've been on. So, your idle threats mean nothing to me. I stand undeterred. Absolutely. Wrap it up, Cody.
Yeah, this last one, I think Jeff Schilke will be happy with this. It's a twofer. I remember when both of them died, and it was absolutely tragic. Chris Squire, June of 2015, 10 years ago, and Alan White, just 2 years ago, I believe. And saw them both live in concert, thank heavens. But it just, their legacy still lives on in my head, and I still honor these guys every show, every radio show I do, whether it's my show on Prog Radio with Tara every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, or the Deep Nuggets Radio. I'm always playing their music and keeping their memory alive.
Let them rest, Cody. Let them rest.
Yeah.
Okay, subscribing.
You made Jeff Schilke very happy with the Chris Squire and Alan White combo. Okay. Well, very, very well done, Cody. I knew you'd knock it out of the park, but
thank you. Sorry it took so long. I've had two lists to go through.
We had to hear Tara's 2 cents since we didn't get the pleasure of her company live on screen. At least we got it, in spirit. So, Ian, what says you about this topic?
All right. Well, once again, anything that can be done can be overdone. So I have 30 or so, but I'm going to cut it down. I'm going to start with one or two that Cody mentioned, but I'm going to elaborate.
Hey, Harry Whitley would bring John Wetton back. Absolutely, but you might be out of a job.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be crass. We love John. We love you. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Harry Whitley era of Asia has in store for us. But yeah, John Wetton, obviously.
I guess he got caught up in the heat of the moment.
Oh no, he didn't.
My quick diversion is that I did get to see John Wetton one time, and I sort of met him, but I had a really, really special experience where I got to sit in on a UK sound check. And if you know anything about John Wetton, he's got the most amazing bass tone in the world. And, you know, I always thought it was something he would have to dial in, but the man just walked up, plugged his cable into the amp, turned it up, and there it was instantly. And that just, that amazed me when I saw that and heard it too. What's that?
Was Marco Miniman playing with them?
No, that was Gary Husband on drums. It was a great gig. But I'm going to get to my list. So first up, I've got Frank Zappa, which I'm sure anybody who's seen me on here before would expect. But the reason why I wanted to elaborate on what Cody already said briefly about Frank is that here's a guy who was creating for 52, 53 years. Like he had a lot to say and not a lot of time to say it. And he's left us with so much music that continues to come out after his death. And he's somebody that I think of all the time when, you know, it's like, what would he have to say about what's going on right now? Yeah. What would his music, how would his music react? And I always thought that he would eventually mix the orchestral stuff with like the Ensemble Modern, the Yellow Shark album. I always figured he'd start playing guitar to that eventually. And you hear a little bit of that with Dance Me This. There's a little guitar solo, which is, I think, the last one he ever did. But I think he would have merged the worlds of rock and classical even more so. And he would have been irritating everyone in the best possible way with his his viewpoints on things. So I miss him very much. Along that line, I think Jimi Hendrix is worth a mention because here's a guy who was cut off in his prime and, you know, in a very brief time left us with a lifetime of material to enjoy. But again, it's just like, what would he have done in the 80s? What would a new wave Hendrix been like that? You know, I want to hear that. You know, somebody like Kurt Cobain, who just seems like a really nice guy who got caught in the business. And, you know, I always feel really terrible about him. David Bowie, we mentioned David Bowie briefly. But how did that man manage to turn his death into art, part of his art? And by accident, because, you know, Bowie was planning his next record at that point. So I think he had a lot more to say as well. But Warren Zevon died on my birthday. And that was just like, that was such a kick to the stomach. But speaking of kicks to the stomach, Neil Peart felt like losing a family member. And that's a difficult thing, you know, to explain to somebody who's never listened to Rush. But it's not just his musicianship, but it's also his philosophy, his lyrics, you know, like the lyrics to Free Will, for example, or even a later song like Mission, speak to me so deeply. I thought I'd mention, because I've been getting into Sly Stone a little bit, that he's one of those guys who should have had a comeback and never did. Yeah. And I think that's a horrible tragedy that he never got to come back. I want to mention Brian Wilson just briefly, but a few guys from my favorite band, Jethro Tull, who Glenn Cornick, John Glasscock. But I think Mark Craney.
Yeah, Ian was rattling off members of Jethro Tull who left us. And then he cut off in midstream. We'll see what's going on with Ian. It sounded like he was wrapping up anyway. So I'm turning it over to you, Wayne, on short notice. You ready to go?
Yep.
And then when Ian comes back to life, we'll that sounds like a horror movie. Ian comes back to life. Oh, look up.
At number 11 on my list is Ian.
Yes, we want to resurrect Ian. Yes, he'll be back. I don't know.
So for my list, some of these have been mentioned. Definitely, without a doubt, Frank Zappa.
What the heck is going on?
That freaked me out.
That was wild. Where were two of you?
Where did I leave off, guys? I'm so sorry.
Jethro Tull.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention Mark Craney, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Wayne, but I wanted to mention Mark Craney because he was only on one Jethro Tull album, and he was a young man when he passed away. And he could have been in Frank Zappa's band. He very nearly was on "You Are What You Is."
I didn't know that.
Great record.
Yeah,
Wow.
he auditioned for Frank's band, and
Didn't
because
know
he
that.
didn't make it, he
Yeah. You see, you learn something new from Ian, and then he freezes up again. What's going on with that? What's going on with Ian? Anyway, Wayne, you know the drill.
Yep. But
No dead air around here, my friend. No dead air. We keep the show rolling.
So it's about to say about Frank, like especially like it's been mentioned a little bit, but especially those Iraq years with Bush and Zappa and what he would say about that whole thing.
Yeah.
And even today, like
Even today, I was just gonna say, what would Frank have to say about Donald
Oh
Trump?
my God.
I think my thought would be, what would Frank Zappa have to say about cancel culture?
Oh,
Yeah, I mean the
Yes,
whole thing,
he
both
would've-
sides of the coin. What would he have to say about the whole woke thing, right? What would he have to
Yeah.
say about Trump and
Thank
MAGA? He'd have a whole bunch to say. I am sure. I honestly don't know
He had
exactly where he
one
landed.
of my favorite quotes of all time. To censorship is like using decapitation to cure dandruff. And I'll always remember that quote from Frank.
Ian wants 5 guys. You better send him to his house right now.
Ooh. Oh, I wish we had a 5 guys.
Yeah. Also his guitar playing, amazing. And I do agree, I think Frank would have merged so many different genres just because he could.
Yeah, just because he could, exactly.
Sorry, guys, I'm playing the role of Kiefer today.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey, every stream needs a Kiefer.
Yeah, have you guys ever heard of Dream Theater?
Yeah, I heard of them once or twice. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're really
no,
good, aren't they?
I restarted my router, so I should be okay. All right, I'll wrap this up real quick. I'm so sorry.
That's all good.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention a couple of guys who've passed on from Pink Floyd, Sid Barrett, Rick Wright. But one who hasn't been mentioned yet, and I'm hoping I can nail the delicate pronunciation here, but Edgar Froese from Tangerine Dream. Because I listen, Tangerine Dream is the only band that I listen to daily. I actually listen to them every night before I go to sleep, and I absolutely love them. So yeah, I find that a big loss. Tim Smith of Cardiacs, I think somebody mentioned him in the comments. But
yeah, they did.
Here's a guy who had big plans for what he was going to do next. The LSD album, for instance, which may eventually see the light of day. But he was taken down by a stroke, and basically was unable to move or get up or walk around or compose music for the last 10 or so years of his life. And just what a horrible tragedy that is. Yeah, and finally, Ted Nugent, because what the heck ever happened to that guy? We haven't heard from him since like the 70s.
Bring him back. Bring him back. Hey, I'm sorry. I kind of liked a couple of those early 70s albums, like
I do too.
All and Cat Scratch Fever and that stuff. I didn't hate that stuff at all. And then you see, I didn't know nothing about no Meatloaf, and then you find out later on that half of that's Meatloaf.
Yeah, that's true.
What is that?
Down in all those guys.
Something's going on.
Something's freaking out. Who is that?
I don't know.
I think
it's the ghost of Ted Nugent. He's come back.
Yeah, it's Ted Nugent and Meatloaf.
Oh, it's an earthquake. There you go. Meatloaf's another great guy to bring back.
Yeah.
Maybe he can make one more great album.
Why not?
Out of the hell, fix that.
Why not? Oh, yeah, which version of that? Hey, Wayne, you were talking about Zappa, but I know you got
Sorry, Wayne.
I know you got more to talk about.
Yeah. Next one I want to talk about, another phenomenal guitar player, life cut short way too soon. The guy that pretty much resurrected the blues, and if it wasn't for him, I think we're talking about the blues as if we're talking about jazz now. Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of the great guitar players, just resurrected so many careers like B.B. King, Eric Clapton, so many.
Yeah, I'm the guy, Wayne. That's such a good call. I'm the guy that I was never impressed by any blues players. My dad took me to see B.B. King, took me to see Albert King. I fell asleep at both shows. And then this guy, Stevie Ray Vaughan, comes up and he's playing at one of our conventions. I'm working for a record bar. We've got like 300 stores in the southeast of the U.S. and he's playing at our convention. So there's 300 of us plus, you know, the management and whatnot. And I'm sitting there watching his fingers and I'm like, this guy's not a human being. And I was so wrong that words can't even describe. I mean, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. Stevie Ray Vaughan single-handedly changed the whole game, even for somebody like me who doesn't like that kind of music, man, at all. It's cringy music to me. And I was like, whoa, what am I even seeing? This guy, unreal. Good call.
He introduced a lot of young folks to the blues. He was an ambassador for that music.
Just sickening what he could do.
Yep.
Next on my list, maybe one of the most criminally underrated guitar players, Gary Moore.
Yeah, there you go.
Definitely deserves to be on any list talking about this, because I think had he lived a few more years, I think he would have started to get the recognition that he deserved, because he is one of the most phenomenal guitar players I've ever heard, and a guy who could do virtually anything on the guitar. Like,
all right, here's one. First mention of Jeff Beck, and we're on the 36th minute.
He was one of my 30.
Okay.
I almost had him too. But no, Wayne, that's a good call with Gary Moore. And, you know, most people only know him for his blues stuff, but that Back on the Streets album that he did is jazz fusion out the yin-yang. Crazy.
His 80s stuff, like when everyone was starting to shred, Gary Moore started to shred, and he sounded actually better than most of them.
Yeah, he's amazing. And the Coliseum 2 albums like War Dance, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Just phenomenal.
So good.
Number 4 on my list, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And I know mentioned kind of what he would have done in the 80s. I would have loved to have seen what Jimi Hendrix would have done with even something like jazz fusion. Because I could see him going that route, and just it's one of the greatest what ifs in music.
Yeah.
Number 5 for me, not necessarily Prog, but Jim Morrison.
Oh, good. I'm glad someone mentioned him.
Yeah.
Like his lyrics, everything. It's kind of like Hendrix. I would have liked to have seen what he would have done through the 70s and all that, and where he would have ended up, because it once again feels like a what if kind of thing. Next one for me, John Bonham of Led Zeppelin. Like, where would have Zeppelin gone in the 80s and beyond had he lived? Just phenomenal drummer. Kind of feel sad, because it kind of felt like with Zeppelin there, it was kind of the excuse they needed to break up the band and allowed them to go do whatever they wanted to do, and kind of feel sad about that. But Bonham, fantastic drummer. Next one, another what if, Tommy Bolin.
Yeah, for sure.
Deep Purple, Zephyr, gazillion other things, played on a Moxie album. Just fantastic guitar player. Sadly, I don't think he was ever quite the same after that terrible Indonesian concert Deep Purple had to do there, and that whole thing. And sadly taken way too soon, but definitely check out those 2 solo albums, Private Eyes and Teaser. They're just phenomenal. I would be remiss not to mention Uriah Heep, Ken Hensley.
Yeah.
For me, one of the most underrated songwriters of his era. Had just a unique way of writing, and he had a great line, sacrifice, the future has its price, but today is only yesterday's tomorrow. Just a great songwriter. Next one, Phil Lynott of Finland.
Yeah, but I was wondering if somebody'd have Phil.
Yeah. love his voice, love his bass playing, and I love all the stuff he did with Gary, because I think him and Gary Moore always brought the best out in
That's
each
it
other.
right there. Yeah, that's the one.
Masterpiece album.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, Phil's also on that Back on the Streets album.
Now, somebody was just talking about it up there. There it is.
Yep. This is the. I used to think Jailbreak was the best one. I'd say maybe this is probably the Thin Lizzy album, but amazing.
Yep. Oh, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, last one for me here is. Oh, geez. So many greats to choose from, sadly, that there's. But. Who do I choose? I'm going to choose Bon Scott of AC/DC.
Whoa, yeah. There you go. Only if he has his bagpipes with him.
To me, one of the most unique voices I've ever heard, but he fit that band so perfectly. Down, dirty, sleazy, just an amazing vocalist, and he's one of those guys that I'm like, yeah, would AC/DC have ever done Back in Black without him? Who knows? But I still think he's one of those guys that I can go back and listen to all that Bon Scott era AC/DC, and I love it.
Yeah. Nice. Well done, Wayne. Welcome back.
Yeah.
I can't tell you you're dead wrong about much there. I really can't.
Wayne, your list is awesome, brother. That was great.
Fine list. Outstanding. Probably going to be better than mine, but will it be better than Prog Hats? What is that? That sounds like a phone ringing.
Is that
Wayne?
Is that Wayne?
No,
Ooh,
I don't know.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I don't know who that is.
I'll
Yeah,
turn
it sounded like a phone.
It's not me.
I don't hear a phone ringing, but I might have some background noise.
I don't hear it now.
I think it's Ian.
It's me?
I think it's Ian.
Because if
Yeah.
you
I just muted everybody.
I just muted Ian and it's still going.
No, it's not Ian.
Yeah, it's not me.
It's not you. It's probably me.
Yeah, I think it's Prog Hat. It is. I muted Prog Hat and it went away.
Oh, it's Edward.
Yeah.
Do I need to?
There you go. Yeah, let's roll through your list.
Okay, the way I did mine was I chose 10 of my favorite artists, but also I would like for these 10 artists to be in the same band, if that was possible.
There you go. I love it.
Then a couple of things I do want to mention, that these artists that I've chosen, they were in bands, groups, probably did a lot of solo projects, but they never did the same album twice. And they just left a significant legacy in music, period. So let's go ahead and start. My first one is Sid Barrett.
Yeah.
Eddie Van Halen.
Oh, first Eddie Van Halen mentioned. Nice.
Good man.
When I heard about it, I couldn't believe it. It was like the earth got quiet. I was like, what? But anyway, Peter Banks.
Yeah.
Chris Squire.
Nice.
I love Ian McDonald. He played with King. We already know this. And Foreigner albums. Frank Zappa.
Yeah.
Keith Emerson. Elton Dean from the Soft Machine and Super Sister. And last, Mike Pinder from the Moody Blues. I'm a big Moody Blues fan, and hoping to do some reviews of this album, their albums this coming year. So that's my list. I miss just talking about them. I get kind of emotional still talking about these folks, but these are some of the their music has just been so much in my life. So
Hey, the Peanut Gallery's giving you some advice. I don't know what the deal is. Prog Hat, lower your volume, use headphones. I don't know. We love you. Hey, everybody, subscribe to the Prog Hats YouTube channel. He's awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We might mute you if it keeps going on, so I just wanted to make sure you were cool. You're still, yeah. You're good to go. Kevin,
Great list.
Do we have a problem with any of Edward's picks?
No, I don't have a problem with any of these picks.
Mm-mm.
Okay, for me, there's really two ways you can look at this. You can look at it, who do we just kind of miss and we wish we could have them back?
Yeah.
And then there's who got taken too soon, like what the what if thing. What would have happened had they continued on? My list probably leans a little heavier that way. So I'm going to start with, this is a guy, I think he was 40 years old, one of a band I love, Triumvirate. And people always say, whatever happened to those guys? Well, what happened to him was this guy passed away.
Yeah.
And he was working on his solo album. He's in his car, as musicians do. We go listen to our mixes while we're mixing an album in our car, because that's our point of reference often.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes into the garage, he's listening to his demo, and he dies of carbon monoxide poisoning.
What?
So there's a guy who clearly had more to give, because he was still, literally to the moment he's died, he's working on making music. So yeah, he was 27 is only how
Yeah,
old that
member
guy
of the
was.
27 Club, and it's not a coincidence. Triumvirate had like 7 or 8 albums. They're two best of the two with Helmet Colon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Illusions on the Double Dimple and Spartacus, and it's
Spartacus,
not
yeah.
even close. I mean, their
Yeah.
other records are fine, but those two are genius.
And his solo album did ultimately come out, and obviously,
Yeah,
but
later.
yeah, later. And so anyway, that's somebody that deserved to have not had that happen to him, and to see what would have happened. Let's see. Next up on my list, again, has been mentioned. Again, this is one where, do I bring back Greg Lake or do I bring back John Wetton? Greg Lake, again, some of that is health related, but I'm going to bring John Wetton back because he was still doing it. He was right in the thick of things still when he was taken. And so I'm going to bring John Wetton back. Freddie Mercury, how do you not include him on your list? He's been mentioned. Of course, Chris Squire. Yes, stop being yes the day he died. It is what it is, but
Sure.
that's when it stopped being yes for me a little bit, was when Chris died.
It's really hard to make a case for Steve Howe's ever since Chris was gone. I mean, before that, you could say, Alan, Chris, Steve, that's the core 3 right there, man. And you could, and now it feels less and less real every day. And that's sad because
go to an album
is
like
the band.
Fragile and take the bass player out. What is that? So hugely important there. This is a guy did it all. So you almost think, well, he doesn't deserve to come back because he did so much. And that's David Bowie. But he was heading right back in the right direction.
Hey, wait a second. That's kind of harsh. You've done enough. You're too successful. You're staying down there in Hades, my friend.
I just mean he did so much, so many genres. He did so many things, but he was coming back to a place that I loved when he went away. So I would absolutely, even at 69, I'm bringing him back.
3 days after the release of Black
video.
Star, right? Isn't that when he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was just
This next
terrible.
one, 100%, I'm bringing this guy back. Absolutely was a crime that it even happened. Was David
Yeah,
Longdon
man.
from Big Big Train. Again, how much more to give? It's just not good that happened. I'd bring him back. Getting low on my list here, number 4. This is another one. What would have happened? This is a guy that. How old was Neil Morris when he recorded that first Spock Spirit album?
Oh, very
Late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at Neil Morris and the career he's had, and then think of Kevin Gilbert. I think he would have had the exact same kind of career that Neil Morris would have had Kevin Gilbert not passed away. So I'm bringing him back, letting him
I don't know, man.
continue on.
Kevin Gilbert knew some people.
Oh, yeah.
I think Kevin
I-
Gilbert was infinitely closer than Neil Morris ever got to that upper level, right? Neil Morris was never going to sniff that upper tier. That time had come and gone. He was born, 10 years too late, probably. But Kevin Gilbert, man, Kevin Gilbert could have conquered the world.
Yeah, I agree. Well, and Neil, I mentioned Neil only because for progressive guys, it's kind of good he didn't break out too much because it kept him in that nice space
That's
where we
right.
like him
That's
to be.
right, for sure.
But Brian
Definitely.
Wilson was a big Kevin Gilbert fan.
Yeah.
And I kind of in my brain, I picture Kevin Gilbert and Brian Wilson finishing Smile together. That's how I picture it happening, and it would have been a very different album, and it would have been amazing.
I wasn't aware of that. I mean, before you said it last week, but that's intriguing indeed.
Yeah, he big fan of the Toy Matinee album. Brian was, and I
just
love that
remember,
album.
everybody, do like Julie. Download the Prog Radio app.
Good job,
You
Julie.
can do it on both iOS and Android, right? Isn't that
Absolutely,
isn't that
absolutely.
the way it works?
Yep.
If you got a phone, you should have Prog Radio on it. All the cool kids got that app on their phone.
Absolutely. You'd know all my picks too if you were listening to Prog Radio, because an hour before I played all these artists for an hour, so you would have known all my picks. Number 3 for me, I'm going to do a little cheat here. As they say in Monty Python, I'm not dead yet, and that is Phil Collins. He's not dead yet, but if I had the power, I would go take him out, and then I'd bring him back at full health and full. I mean, if Phil, the music is there, the brains are there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the body's just not there. And so if I could fix that in a heartbeat, that's what I would fix.
Here
And
comes
then,
Kevin's apology video.
oh yeah. All from love, obviously. That's where it's coming from. Is just what an admiration for the guy. And then I'm going to put, kind of like Cody did, I'm going to put number 1 and number 2 together. If you give me the power to bring some people back, I'm bringing, for my 1 and 2, I'm bringing John and George back. No question, not even close.
Nice.
They're coming back, and then the rest will be history.
Nice.
So that was my list.
What a fabulous list, Kevin. Now, as I told everybody, I was doing my list a little bit differently. And as a result, I'm not doing the 10 that I missed the most. I'm doing the 10 that are going to be in my band, right? I'm going to sign them. I still haven't come up with a name. But here are some names that I thought about and discarded, okay? Janis Joplin. I want her in my band, but no, she didn't show up for the audition. So she's not in the band. D. Boone from the Minutemen, John Entwistle, Robbie Steinhardt.
Yeah.
I want him in my band.
You need a fiddle player. Bring him back.
How about a David Sanborn? I like me some saxophone in my band.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kevin Gilbert, Frank Zappa, Dave Cousins, Richard Wright, Peter Bardens. Nobody's mentioned him. Peter Banks.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned him, right?
I thought about Peter Banks in my band. Jaco Pastorius.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't show up to the interview either, the audition. I met Jaco once. I met Jaco. He was just like wandering around. I was going to it was Edison Community College in Fort Myers. They call it something else now, like Southwest Florida State or something. I don't know. But he was just wandering around aimlessly, and I recognized him. I think you need to go over there. The music building is that way. And he's like, no, I was looking for the cafeteria. Eric Dolphy. I know we're supposed to be talking about Prog, but Eric
That's a
Dolphy,
great choice.
Eric Dolphy, man, because I kind of want a sax and a flute player. And, I get it all with that cat. He could do everything better than anybody else. One of the most talented people in the history of music, Eric Dolphy. You don't know who he is, look him up. Eddie Van Halen, Brian Jones. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Keith Moon, John Bonham, Cozy Powell, Roy Albrighton from Nectar, and Jim Morrison. But they didn't make my band. Can you believe it? They didn't make the band. Here's who did make the band. Oh, yeah. I've got not one, not two, but I got 3 people that could be lead vocalists in my band, 2 of which play guitar. So I'm going to have a lot of variety in the vocal position, and 2 cats that absolutely can play the guitar. I'm having Francesco Di Giacomo he's my main singer. I don't care, man. If you don't know Banco del Maturo Soccoso, if you don't know Peak Giacomo, you don't know anything about Italian Prog. It's time to wake up. Yeah, he's my guy. He's my front man. You can't take your eyes off that guy. He's just one of those guys like a Freddie Mercury, a Johnny Rotten, right? He just gets it as a frontman. A Jim Morrison, I consider Jim, obviously, but I'm going with Francesco because I love that operatic feel. The two guys who are going to be playing guitar for me also can sing pretty good. I'm going with Terry Kath and Prince.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Prince.
I'm going with Terry
Surprised we
Kath and
missed him.
Prince. Terry Kath, because Jimi Hendrix absolutely was not wrong about Terry Kath's guitar playing. And Prince, because I saw Prince in 1980, right? 81,
Really?
I think.
Wow.
And it was Prince, The Time, Vanity 6. And I'm just watching this guy, and I'm thinking he's singing every single note. Not only is it pitch perfect, but he's playing this incredible stuff. I don't think he knew how to sing a wrong note. I don't think he was genetically able to sing a note that was wrong. Just the guy was just a genius of the first caliber. On bass guitar, you think I'd pick Chris Squire? I'm not going with Chris. This is my rhythm section, boys and girls. I'm going with Ray Shulman and John Heisman. I'm going with Ray Shulman because I might want me a little fiddle. And Robbie Steinhardt didn't show up for the audition, so I still want me a fiddle player. So I'm getting Ray Shulman because I like the songwriting. He's a better songwriter than Chris Squire. He's a multi-instrumentalist. He can give you the backup vocals. You don't really need a lead vocalist at this point, right? We got that covered. Okay, so who do we have on keyboards, do we ask? I'm putting Bo Hansen on keyboards. Yeah. I don't really need a whole lot else musically if you look at this lineup, but I need a guy that can put it all together, create a sound, create a soundscape. I need a guy with the best ears probably in the history of music. I'm thinking John Anderson is like kind of leveled where the ear is everything. Is Bo Hansen, man. Bo Hansen. That Lord of the Rings album came out in 1970, y'all. 1970. And then rounding out my band, because that's only 7. I have not 1, not 2, but I got 3 lyricists. I got Betty Thatcher from Renaissance. I've got Keith Reed from Procol Harum, and I got Peter Sinfield from King Crimson and ELP in my band, so that not only musically is this stuff going to be the most mind-blowing stuff you've ever heard in your life, genre-bending, incredible, but they're going to be singing words you want to listen to, right? Not just a bunch of crap, because you've got Betty Thatcher, Keith Reed, Peter Sinfield writing, and that's my 10. That's what I'm doing. That's my band. I don't have a name for the band. Nobody came up with a name for the band. Bo and the Hansons. Jeff Shilka wants to unsubscribe because I left. Chris. Yeah, I don't have a single member of Yes in my band, so I guess he's upset about that. You know, but I have Bo Hansen. I put Bo Hansen in the band. This wasn't that morbid, right? That was fun.
No, that was fun.
Nothing but honoring these guys.
Yeah, we love all these people, right? But you know what we love even more than our dead rock stars, Kevin. You know, I love honoring the past. But you know, it's kind of like the tagline for Prog Radio, right? You honor the greats of the past, but I'm all about the new stuff. And next Sunday, boys and girls, yeah, we got a good one planned for you, boys and girls. Yes, we do. There's a new band out of Norway, signed by Ken Golden's Laser's Edge label. They're called Agropelter. It's led by this dude named Kai Olsen.
Which country?
Yeah, it's country and western music out of Norway.
Right?
The cover kind of gives it away. Yeah.
Now the skull that could be on your belt buckle. Right? I mean,
that's such a prog. I love that album cover.
Oh, it's so prog. It's kind of AIE. But we're going to have Kai Olsen. Kevin, you're joining us, right? I'm assuming. We're going to have Kai Olsen. This guy's a genius, man. He plays guitar, he plays bass, plays keyboard. We're going to have Jacob Holmlupo from White Willow, who mastered this thing, mixed it. just an incredible genius, one of the masterminds of the whole prog scene over there. And you know who else has said yes is going to make an appearance, because he makes an appearance on this album. Jonas Reingold's coming back.
Oh,
yeah. So we're going to be talking. Yeah, it's all about this here record. It's just a celebration of this great record. So, yeah, we can also talk about Jonas and what he's doing, and the great stuff that Jacob's doing.
Epic.
You know, we've never had Jacob Home Lupo on the show before. Isn't that weird? That's weird to me. I don't know. I almost half thought we had, because I've been talking to him for a while. And then the following week, which is July 27th, we're going to have the mastermind of the Gatekeepers. We're going to have Alex Roten on the program, and we're going to be talking about just records that made him the weirdo that he is. And I'm going to join in, maybe like the 10 records that made us who we are, just having a little bit of fun. And maybe we can even get Cody or Wayne or somebody on the show. We'll see. We'll see what we want to do for that. That'll be a fun show.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll come back anytime you want.
Certain people have the open invitation, right?
Yeah.
And Wayne, we've missed you. It's been a long, long time. What's going on with you now that you're back all suntanned and whatnot? What can we look forward to on your channel?
Right now, I've just been getting back into playing guitar again and learning songs and stuff. Been doing that on my channel. Not sure, kind of trying to think of what I want to do. I'm probably going to do a few more reactions coming out, but other than that, it's pretty open.
I got the new Gatekeeper CD.
And heck, if I'm not on a certain week, I might even do my own little video response to yours with my list. And
here's the new Gatekeepers.
Wayne, I'd love to do another collaboration with you, brother.
Yeah, anytime. Yeah, I know I suck for getting back to people. Sometimes I see, they message me. It's like, I'll get back to that. And then about half an hour later, I've forgotten completely.
Don't do that, Wayne. That's annoying.
Yeah. I know I'm horrible at that. That's why.
We've all done that from time to time, though. Like, let's be real here.
It happens. It happens. Wayne, thank you so much for actually getting back to me this time and joining the stream. Ian, becoming a crowd favorite. People love Ian on this channel, probably because he knows more than the rest of the panel put together. Maybe that's got a little something to do with it. I don't know.
Well, I read. That's all.
Okay, well, there you go.
You two can read.
Ian's awesome.
Thanks, Cody.
Too.
Cody, thank you for all your support.
Of course, man.
What do we got? What do we got going on with either your channel or your Better Halves channel?
Well, should we talk about our upcoming collaboration, Cody?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. You mentioned it.
Cody and I are going to talk about the best multi-channel surround mixes of all time, or I guess our favorite multi-channel surround mixes of all time.
Nice.
And we're going to record that. That's going to be like, what, 10 days, 11 days?
Something like that. Yeah.
And that'll be up on my channel. And then we're also talking about doing a update on your weird prog albums video for your channel. So it's going to be fun.
And Ian, Cody, and I got something coming up for Prog Radio called "Can You Dig It?"
That's
where you can be on the radio station. We're each going to pick 2 songs, and we got a couple other people on the panel, and we're going to each play a song. We're going to go around and say, "Can we dig it?" And we're going to give scores to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's coming up. And I wanted the Android app to be out before we did that because that kept me so busy. Android app, the new update is out, so be looking forward to that.
So your excuses are over, right? Well, I don't have the Prog Radio because it's only on that iOS, right?
We always had it on Android, but it wasn't the greatest. Now they're both awesome. Now they're both awesome.
What you got to do now is you got to subscribe to Brockway's Vinyl Bites because there is more cool stuff. And Tara's channel, Spin in Prague, you were asking what she's doing. She just put out a video called "Women in Prague."
Yes,
that was great.
And, that's on Spin in Prague, so check that out. And I'm doing a couple of Grateful Dead things. I put up a video about the Beginner's Guide to Grateful Dead with the albums. That was yesterday, and tomorrow comes out the Beginner's Guide to the Grateful Dead, the songs, and then we'll be doing more from there as well.
Nice.
Here's another one for you, Cody. The Grateful Dead, the live performance guide.
So I did include in the songs. I included mostly live stuff. It's a really unique thing. But yeah, that's another idea too. Like just strictly the live albums, strictly the Dave's and Dick's picks and all those sorts of things. Because I could do it.
Nice. That's enough to keep you busy for a little while. Edward Prog, what's going on with you? Unmute yourself for a minute and tell us what's going on your channels. What's going on the Prog channel?
I've had a lot of support. Scott's helped me out. My daughter's making these awesome thumbnails, so I'm trying to, I guess, ramp up my channel more. I updated my channel description, and it's been getting some great responses. I'm hoping, because I've been watching you guys and hearing you guys, I've gotten into these bands like Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Groups like that, and I'm hoping to get more of their music because things are expensive, so I don't have a lot. I don't have any Flower Kings or any Porcupine Tree, but I did order some Pattern Seeking Animals, and I'm looking for that. So I'm hoping to get into this new year, getting into more of those bands because I like the music. I'm a big fan of Dream Theater, and hopefully see what happens if I start talking about them, but I really want to start talking about how I do it. I don't want to just,
It's tough, though.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Edward, I know how it goes. It's tough. Every Prog fan has to worry about just, how expensive it is. Vinyl, especially if you're like me and you love the vinyl, man, it can get really, really expensive. But you know what's not expensive, Kevin? Prog Radio is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you not 1 second. It's commercial free. It's 24/7. It's high quality, CD quality sound for those of you that care about that kind of thing, which apparently a lot of people do. Zeb is awaiting a package from Charisma. Yes, so am I, man. I'm waiting on a package from Charisma. Where is so excited new Ritual release? They're reissuing the Hamulic Voluntary Band on vinyl for the first time. We're gonna have Frederick and Patrick from Ritual on the show very, very soon. We're working on some other stuff, Kevin. Behind the scenes, quietly, we're talking to some people. It's going to be really, really exciting. I guess I'm probably not at liberty to discuss some of the guests we have planned coming up here, but it's going to be
world domination. Just leave it at that.
It's just going to be amazing. We know what we're doing next week. We know we've got the amazing Aggro Pelter coming into the house. Kai Olsen, Jacob Holm-Lupo, and Ken Golden. Oh, the whole gang. And Jonas Reingold. Everybody involved in this album. Do you know Matthias Olsen?
I do.
Yeah, we need to get him on the stream.
He's my buddy.
Yeah, we need to get Matthias Olsen on here. Get everybody involved in this album. So that's next Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun. And then the Sunday after that, we've got Alex Roten from the Gatekeepers. Fantastic. This is their new album, Nostalgia for the Great American Monoculture. Very, very cool stuff, man. Morgan Agron's on this record. Tier Accidents on this record. I don't think this one's got the Residents too. If you like the Residents, if you like Cheer Accident, which I certainly do. Dan Britton was that band he's from, Birds and Buildings, or Buildings and Birds, whatever that is.
Deluge Grander.
Our Stevie Moore's on here.
Oh yeah, I've worked with him too.
Our Stevie Moore's on here. If you don't know who he is, look him up and then get back to me when you've heard all his albums. Because how many albums does he have, Ian?
Oh gosh, about 50, 70, something like that. But I worked with him on an album called The Lunatic by Nick Prohl and the Proletarians, and he did a little song sample for that. But I wanted to make a very small announcement. I forgot when you
please do.
And I don't know, can you put that image on the stage that I just added? Is that something you can add?
Let's see.
Hey, there we go.
Bam, bam, there you go.
So this is what I've been spending my weekend with, is the new box set from Jethro Tull with the new Steven Wilson mixes.
Nice.
This takes Jethro Tull's early singles, B-sides, some unreleased stuff from back then, and puts it all together. They've made it more complete, added new AI upmixed versions of songs that Wilson has worked his magic on. The complete Carnegie Hall Live from 1970, which was originally side 3 of the Living in the Past album, but it's here complete. But this is maybe my most anticipated review on my channel, and I hope to have it out hopefully by tomorrow. So look for that.
Awesome, fantastic. Hey, I'm really zeroed in on 2 releases, Kevin. I'm sure you hear probably more than I do, right?
2 hours every week we play new stuff.
I mean, you have to listen to new stuff. I only do when I want to. I don't have to review anything new. But the 2 albums that have been getting like nonstop play for me that I'm sure everybody's going to be sick and tired of me talking about. One is the new Discipline album.
Yeah.
Breadcrumbs. That thing's awesome, man. Yeah. I can't wait to talk to everybody about that. Maybe we can get Matthew on the show. I'm going to pull some strings. Hey, Mark Monforti owes us one, right?
Yeah, you go.
And then, oh, man, talk about owing us one. Ann Claire's going to owe me a big one. Oh, man, oh, man. Have you listened to the Ambient Den record, Kevin?
No. I don't think so.
You know, my number 1 album of 2022 was Ben Craven's Monsters from the
yeah.
He's got a brand new band, and I don't think he's doing himself any favors with the name Ambient Den. I know it's an anagram of the guy's first names in the band. It's not ambient, and it definitely doesn't sound like it was recorded in a cave. Ambient Den doesn't do it any justice. This record's amazing, man. I absolutely love this thing. So, Ambient Den and Discipline, 2 records I can't get enough of, and I'm going to be talking a whole bunch about. And maybe at some point I'll explain why I keep the wall of sticks behind me now. My next episode on Sea of Tranquility, we're going to be talking about sticks. I think that's cool. That's like next week or something. I don't know, but anyway, this was a great episode. Thank you all. I hope everybody has a great Sunday, and I hope nobody's too upset that we're talking about, with great reverence, artists who are no longer with us. It happens, and it's going to happen to us all. So why not, take those rose-colored glasses off, see the world as it is, and we'll all be happier. Anyway, boys and girls, I love you. Peace in the Middle East, free Tibet, free the Ukraine, free your mind, free beer, free Willie, and God save King Chucky. Oh, save that boy. Save that cotton-picking king. He needs some saving, that boy. Oh, yeah. Lord willing, in the creek door. Oh, yeah. We're going to be dancing with snakes. Oh, yes, indeed, we will be. The snake dancing's real, Kevin. You see them snakes going across your screen? It ain't a joke. Let me tell you something. We dance with snakes for a reason down here. Oh, yeah. The power of Jesus will protect me and protect you and protect the world. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace. Yeah.
So long, Scott. Thanks again.
Thank you.